Hey guys, it's me, the vlogging man, the man who doesn't normally make these kind of videos, but for some reason has been doing them a lot more often than he should. I'm back to tell you guys some more information on stuff about why I've kind of been all over the place with schedule wise and just kind of, I'm gonna take these off. These are not helping me being able to talk. I need to find a spot for these. Sure, they'll go right there. Basically, I need to tell you guys, I need to get off my chest, kind of. I'm gonna get those off my mouse off the buttons. I'm getting very distracted, I'm sorry. I need to tell you guys why I've been kind of all over the place schedule wise, where there'll be occasional times where I'm just constantly like streaming the same thing, or just kind of not streaming or recording or posting at all. There are plenty of times where I'll go like 3 to 4 days, as far as I'm aware, without doing anything. And today's video is to explain to you guys why. I would suggest, loosening up a schedule, because I've got an entire list here of things I want to talk about, because there's a ton of them. In fact, I'm going to hold my list because I don't want to lose my train of thought. First things first, and then probably the main kind of idea of this video is that you guys might know that I have been going to college for probably a year and a half now, and going to college is a great thing. By all means, if you had that opportunity and you want to pursue something in your life, college is almost the go-to place for it. They will do you well, and it's so worth it in the end. But there are reasons as to why I have decided that I am going to be taking time off from college. I haven't officially called out of school yet, but I have every plan to do so for a good while. And there's plenty of reasons as to why I'm choosing to do this, and there was no easy decision to make here. And one of the big reasons why is being this entire change right now, because of the whole pandemic right now that we're in. We have a lot of schools, including my school, going fully remote learning, and the problem with that is that a lot of people are not used to that. And the reason for me not being used to it is because I'm not used to being in class from my own home luxuries, if that makes sense. Like, I'll be on like a Zoom call or a Microsoft Team call with a class, and I have all this stuff open to me, like Spotify, gaming, and watching YouTube and stuff in the background without them ever knowing. Unfortunately, not a lot of teachers require you to have your face cam on and stuff, so they don't really know what you're doing in the background. I've allowed this to slip past me mentally, and I've used like Spotify while learning. I've done a lot of things I shouldn't have, that have really just kind of made my grades and just school experience in general very, very poor. And it's nothing against the teachers, but because of remote learning, I let that slip by me, and it's not something I'm used to, and I don't know if I can get used to it. Which is one of the big major reasons why I'm leaving, because I don't want to risk putting my GPA and other stuff school related in jeopardy any longer. If I can just put a pause on it for now, let things go back to normal, hopefully. And then just work on myself and my own mental positivity, and then when everything goes back to normal, I can thrive again. But that's not the only reason why that I'm leaving. The second reason being funds. If you guys aren't aware, basically, and I'll get more into this afterwards. Basically, I have a job now. So I've been kind of for a while I was balancing school with the job and YouTube, 3 things at once. I almost took a break off of YouTube because I didn't want to balance all 3. But basically, working hours on a part-time job isn't going to get me a whole lot of money, and on top of that, the biggest reason why I don't have the funds isn't even because of the job. It's because of financial aid reasons. If you guys haven't been to college, you might understand this very much, but basically when you get to college, you have this thing called financial aid. It is money that basically that's given to you for either great academics. There's a lot of different scholarships out there which basically reward you money for specific requirements that you meet. Now, I have met some of these requirements for, like, for student loans and even grants, up to to a couple of $1,000s per semester. But the problem with that is that my financial aid, office on my campus completely screwed up. I waived a lot of the papers I don't actually need to give them because one of them was like the 1098, but I didn't work the year of 2018 or 2019, whichever one they asked for. But on top of that, I waived it and I was all set for a while. About a week later, everything's back to normal. Like, everything's all back and reverted. Like, they still required things of me. I was all set and I had my financial aid all, taken care of. I still owed money, but it wasn't nearly as much as I owe now. But for some reason, they reverted everything back to the beginning, where now I owe everything again, and I couldn't get a hold of them. I couldn't, for the life of me, be able to get in touch with somebody. One, because, nobody would respond to emails, and two, basically, I've been dealing with a lot of social anxiety lately, and I think that's, it's a lot more pertinent now that we're kind of in this online age where everybody's being, online classes and stuff like that, and it's just really taking a toll on, my social anxiety. And as a kid, and even up until like the end of high school, I never found myself to be very, socially anxious or have, sort of social issues and stuff. But as time kind of went on and on, I started realizing that I'm not talking to as much people as I feel like I should be, and at the same time, I find myself getting nervous when I have to call somebody or email somebody. For some reason, there's an actual, like, anxious nerve inside of me whenever those things need to happen. Which and that being said, it was also hard finding a job, because the job that I work at now was the only place I didn't have to actually keep calling or going in to talk to, being like, hey, have you looked at my application yet? Because I know that's what you're technically supposed to do if you want them to know that you really want the job. But I can't bring myself to do it, which has been very, very hard for me lately. And because financially it's screwed up, I owe like fucking $10,000, I think, at this point in time. I owe like $5,000 for this past semester, and then I still owe like another around 5 or 6 or whatever, for loans from last year. I need to. The problem with that is that it's just impossible right now. I'm sorry if I'm pausing a little bit, but I'm trying to put my thoughts into words here. But basically, it hasn't been a big help, basically. And kind of going into the second issue here, and it kind of attaches to, basically, financial, not being able to pay for school, is my drastic schedule change. Basically, the next thing on the list here, I'm gonna go down the list here. My schedule, obviously, as I stated, is very, very different now, and it's very kind of all over the place, and is really just because of just the bad place I'm in, and just kind of the anxiety that I face right now. That I'll spend an entire day, telling myself, maybe I should stream today, maybe I should record today. And some days, I muscle through and I do so. That's how you're seeing videos like, the Minecraft 1v1 with Joseph, or even the past, Halo Reach stream that I did with Matthew. And I have a few more episodes that I've managed to record. But basically, I really have, like, half of the time I'm telling myself, just don't bother, because I know that my mood is probably going to kind of seep through a bit, if that makes sense, where, like, I'm just not being as energetic, or I'm not just being as, entertaining as I could possibly be. And I don't want that for you guys. I really don't want you guys to have trash for content to watch when I don't want it to be about quantity. I don't want it to be about posting every single day, making sure I get at least one thing out every single day. And it's never been that way either. I used to go by a schedule for Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, but even that hasn't been a thing lately because now it's just kind of been whenever I want to upload or stream. And I kind of like that. I kind of like the fact that I kind of give myself time now to think about, am I in the mood to record a stream today or post today? Nah, I'll wait until tomorrow. And then tomorrow, and I'll be completely fine. But obviously, like I said, half the days that's not the case. I'll wake up and I'll record a video, and then I get around to wanting to record a video, and I'm like, I don't really feel like doing this. And I can't bring myself to do it. And I won't do it because it'll give you guys really shitty content to watch, and I don't want that. And I know you guys don't want that. And that's kind of the case there. Now on to the next, portion of the list here. A second reason why my schedule's been all over the place is because of work. Not just, this kind of ties into, paying for school and stuff, but mainly now this section's about work. Basically, back in October, probably mid-October, I had been called for an interview for a job at my local Dunkin'. And the cool part about this interview over the phone, it was over the phone because I couldn't actually get there. I don't have a ride. Basically, I had the phone over the interview over the phone, and it was actually during a recording session that I had. I was actually recording a video. I don't remember what video it was, but but the interview is saved on my computer. It's really funny. But that's not the point. Basically, I got this interview. I got the job. And basically, over the course of time, everything has been fine. I started out with like 18 hours, or just fine for part-time. And then, there was a few weeks where they added on a Saturday evening, for the next few weeks after starting there. And I was working probably like 23 hours at that point, which was phenomenal. That was perfect for making enough income to, start kind of saving up towards paying off student loans. And then eventually, the money that I owe for this past semester. Now, the problem that now persists is recently, over the past few weeks, I've been getting drastic hour cuts. And it's not just me, but it's mostly me. And it kind of tampers with my mental state, and there's reasons for that. Basically, it was said, a while back that a lot of the employees will be getting hour cuts because there's just too many people at once on certain shifts that we just don't need. And I completely understand. I don't like being crowded with a bunch of people. And on top of that, it's very unsafe considering the fact that we're in the middle of a pandemic. So that amount of people on one shift, on one floor for a long period of time, like hours, that's not safe. And I understand why they need to do these kind of cuts. But the thing is I look at the schedule every week now, and everybody has these normal schedules and these normal hours, at least like 3 days a week, and, good chunk of, hours for a shift. And then you look at me, Sunday, like 3 to 6 in the afternoon. And that's literally my entire schedule. And that's problematic because I'm trying to pay off school, and they know I'm trying to pay off for school. And I just genuinely cannot do that when they're not paying me enough to be able to do that. I'm in a lot of deep shit right now because I'm making like $40 a fucking week. That's literally what I'm making for money. And I decided to finally sit down and make this video after this week occurred, where I looked at the schedule and I saw 0 hours for my schedule, and I was the only one who was actually still actively working there. There were plenty of people, there was a few people who didn't have hours, but they weren't active. Like they're taking either like a vacation, or there's like personal reasons as to why they can't be there right now. But I've been there, every single week. I want hours, I'm willing to work, and they've dropped me down to completely 0 hours this week. And I've already texted my boss, and I'm like, hey, can you give me some hours? And she's like, what's your availability? And I give her this amazing, wide open availability. And then she says, we'll see what happens about tomorrow. Like that's very reassuring. I mean, I'm not trying to disrespect her, okay? But you literally gave me 0 hours and then say we'll see about tomorrow. Not even 100%, but we'll see about tomorrow. And if my judgment's correct, if I even get remotely a few hours tomorrow, that's going to be the entire week anyway. Even though I pretty much made myself available for the entirety of the week. You know, even in the evenings. It's just like, what? It's like, really? And again, I'm not trying to hate on, and I'm not hating on my boss. You know, my boss is, for being my first job, my boss is the most friendliest person, easygoing person you'll ever meet. I am very, very happy to call her my boss, but I need hours. And I have not been able to pay for school because of it, and it's become very, very much of a problem that my mental state just drastically drops along with my hours, and it's become a real issue for me to be able to focus any day during the week when all I have on my mind is, how am I going to pay for school? How am I going to pay the government the loans that I owe them? Once my grace period is up, I'm going to have to start paying them back, and I won't have money to do that. And at that point, they're going to hunt me down. And all this stuff is roaming through my head constantly, every hour, every minute of every hour of every day. And it's very, very hard to deal with, and it's a huge struggle. And basically, you know, there's just a big, giant, constant weight on me all the time now, where, you know, my conscience is just constantly telling me, you just need to get off your ass and do something. And then at the same time, it's telling me, no, don't do this. You're socially, you know, anxious. You have actual problems. And, like, I just don't know what the fuck to do. I'm told time and time again, and I am looking, but I'm looking into getting, you know, either a second part-time job or even just replacing my current job entirely, if it does come down to that. But the problem is, as I had stated before, it's very, very hard to get myself out there, considering, you know, I get very, very anxious and nervous when I have to actually talk to people. And I'm not proud to say this, but I genuinely have, like, I have genuine anxiety when, and I might even, I don't ever want to say that I have depression, because I really don't think it's depression. I think it's a lot more of the stress side of things than it is, you know, being actually sad and depressed. I'm sad I lost hours. I'm sad that I can't pay school, yeah, but I don't think I'm, like, you know, to the point of depression at all. But that's not to say that that could ever change. But I never want to say that that's the case, because I just don't physically believe I'm depressed. But I don't know what to do anymore. I've made a vlog in the past saying I don't know what to do, but now this time it's actually I fucking can't do anything. And I'm not saying that, you know, and I'm told time and time again, just to get myself out there, you know, ask people who I put an application out to, you know, hey, have you looked at my application yet? You know, that's fine and all, but it's not, it's easier said than done. Not only do I have to actually, you know, do that, but I have to start by working up the actual motivation and courage, you know, self-courage to be able to actually talk to people and, you know, ask them, you know, in a very polite manner, you know, hi, you know, I'm so-and-so. I put an application in for you, you know, a week back or whatever, and I'm hoping that maybe you took a look at it already. Or if not, if you could do so, you know, as soon as possible. It's so easy to do here in front of a camera. Not so much in front of an actual person face to face, nor over the phone, nor, you know, the fact that you have somebody on the other end, knowing that there's somebody there actually listening to you, like, live during that conversation, is actually very, very stress inducing. And that's why I physically, like, it's not that I physically can't do it, it's just I'm having so much trouble working up that motivation to do so. And, you know, it's just it's just a struggle. It's where my life is right now, and I don't think there's anything else really on the list that I have to talk about. But, you know, I think, you know, the last thing on the list that I didn't even read, I kind of jumped into that anyway because it was just in my thought process. But yeah, that was pretty much the list that I had to go through. I didn't want to make this video 20 minutes long, and I apologize for making it that long. But it's just so much stuff I really want to get off my chest. For all I give a shit, you guys, like, you guys didn't really even have to listen to this. I just kind of wanted to say this all just so that I can, kind of maybe cope and understand my feelings a little bit better towards my life and just my situation that I'm in. And maybe even, hoping to get a little bit of advice from you guys as well. If you guys have either been in this situation or somebody who had, and what you think might even help me. Because at this point, I just don't know. I really don't know. I don't want to say I'm taking a break from YouTube, but I do definitely want to focus more on myself for a while, where I'm not going to be posting every single day of the week. At most, I would try to get at least 2 to 3 things out per week, whether that be an upload and then a stream, or like maybe all streams or all uploads, whatever I choose to do. All that fun stuff. I've been playing a lot of Minecraft lately. I've been enjoying the game, so it's been kind of taking my mind off of things. And the fact that I play with Matthew and Joseph, playing it with friends is so much more relaxing, because if I do start having these kind of thoughts and stuff during the sessions, I can quickly kind of resort to them for help if need be. And I don't know if they understand this, but they don't have any idea just how helpful it is just for them to be there and even just talk to me. It doesn't even have to be about my problems. Just to be there playing games with me really goes a long way. And I really hope that they understand that, because they probably have no idea just how helpful they have been, like, for me for the course of years. I would have never met Joseph had it not been for talking to people on the bus, coming out of my comfort zone to make friends, and Joseph was one of those first people. And then there's Matthew. I met Matthew by playing Doki Doki Outcast, a mod that he's made in the past. And it was a great mod, and we became like best friends ever since because of it. And I don't regret these things one bit. And ever since we met, ever since me, Matt, and Joseph all met, it's been a little bit of weights lifted off my back, and I hope they know that. And if you guys are watching, thanks, seriously. But I think I've rambled on for long enough. I have nothing else to say, really. I think I've actually managed to say everything I wanted to say. I don't think I forgot anything at all. I might even take the rest of this week off. I know it's literally only Monday as I'm recording. I don't know if I'm probably gonna post this this evening. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe I'll post it tomorrow. I don't know when I'll post this. I'll try to post it tonight, but if not, I'll post it tomorrow. Either way, it's gonna be either Monday or Tuesday for you guys. But I think the deal is I'm probably gonna take the rest of the week off recording. Or not. I don't want to say. I kind of want to say recording-wise. I don't want to record or stream anything for the rest of the week. I did just stream Minecraft Hardcore, which the stream went well, by the way. A lot of you guys showed up, and I appreciate that. And kind of like I said in the stream, that I won't ever ask for subscribers. I won't ever ask you guys to hit the subscribe button or even the bell icon or anything like that, because I just don't. For some reason, it feels wrong for me to beg. But we kind of touched upon the idea of making income from doing YouTube and being able to do live streams and videos for years on end, to be able to actually make it a career. But I told the stream, I told chat that it's just not possible unless I grow, and I'll never beg for subs, but you guys do with that as you will. But for the most part, I've said 3 times now that I'm going to end this video, and I haven't yet. So I think finally, I'm going to end this video. I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from with all this. And it's really very, very, very hard for me to kind of talk about this, because it's not very often that I kind of, spill my emotions or out to you guys. I tend to do it in kind of small increments. I don't usually do a bunch of shit at once, but it just needed to happen, and I feel a lot better because of it. So in that case, I'll see you guys probably next week. Bye.